Hello everyone. Today we're going to demonstrate how to do proper CPR. I'm going to go over how to perform adult CPR as well as infant CPR. Effective CPR can immediately double or triple one's survival chances of cardiac arrest, according to the CPRHeart.org organization. As we start with adult CPR, there are a few things you want to do before you even start compressing on someone's chest. First, you want to make sure that you start by checking their carotid artery, which is located on their neck either side, depending on what side you are located. And then as well as you're doing that for no more than 10 seconds, you want to make sure you have someone around you, if not a friend or a coworker or whatever the environment is happening around you, that someone immediately calls 911. After you have completed making sure that the person has no heart rate, and if they have no heart rate, you want to immediately shake them, make sure they have no consciousness. If they have no consciousness, you need to make sure they're breathing. By doing that, you're going to go ahead and put your hand on their chest and put your head over their mouth and nose area. That way, if you cannot feel them breathing, as sometimes people have really shallow breathing, you cannot really feel, but if you put your ear, you can usually feel the breath coming out of their nose or mouth. But if you have no breath coming out, you want to then start immediately doing compressions. When you do compressions, you want to make sure to push in 2 inches the diameter of the person. And don't be freaked out. If you ever have to do this, you will break ribs. It is totally normal, and it's not weird at all. Also, when you are doing CPR on an adult, you want to make sure they are on a firm surface, not a soft location such as a bed, a couch, or anything of that surface. The reason for this is that you will not get the full capacity of your compressions to activate the heartbeat inside the person's chest. Once you have made sure that they're on a hard surface or somewhere that is really firm and you can control or tract all the way without the energy progressing through the soft surface, you can start compressions. As a one rescuer situation, you're doing 30 compressions to 2 breaths. And so once you start CPR, you cannot start. So you want to make sure when you are doing adult CPR, you have your hand strictly over the heart, or the sternum, and you're going to use your hand over hand method. And this way you are going to push down using as much force as you can, keeping a steady beat, and then pushing down that 2 inches. And once you've completed your 30 compressions, you want to make sure to do your breaths and not to take too long, because if you take too long, more than 10 seconds, your whole CPR course has gone to waste. And when you are doing your breaths, you want to make sure, if you have no equipment with you, or if you are no EMS personnel and you're just a bystander, the easiest way to do is mouth to mouth. Now, there are kits out there you can buy online that come with CPR stuff, but most people don't really buy that. But when you are doing your breaths, you want to make sure you close their nose and lift their jaw up and open their mouth, and you're going to proceed to give them air by mouth. Closing their nose will allow the air to go straight to their lungs and fill it up without it escaping through the nostrils. As you continue, you do not stop, and you continue this for 5 minutes, doing your 30 compressions to 2 breaths. The only time you will stop is if the EMS arrives, or if the person regains consciousness with a heartbeat and can breathe on their own. Make sure that you do not stop for more than 10 seconds if you are switching with someone to take your spot, or if you are going to your breaths, whereas it will ruin your whole CPR initiative. Um, and remember, most cardiac arrests happen within public workspaces and out of emergency care facilities. So you are the first line of defense, as to say, when most cardiac arrests happen. Now I'm going to replace my audience member slash prop here with my next prop, so you can go ahead and get up. And I'm going to go move on to infant CPR here with Ainsley, the Cabbage Patch Kid. Now, with infant CPR, it's no different other than a few other steps. The compressions, if you're by yourself, stays the same, and the amount of compressions you need to do per minute stays the same, which is 100 compressions a minute. The only things that do change is the compression depth that you are pushing down on, and how you perform the CPR itself. Now, the compression depth you want to make sure is a little shallower, because their infant bodies are a little thinner than ours. And then also, with how you are going to do it, instead of using bending over and pushing with both hands, you are only going to use either your two fingers like this, and you're going to push down, or you're going to take them like this, cradle them in your arms, and you're going to use both thumbs pushing down on the sternum. Now, as I said, the compressions do not change. It's still 30 to 2 breaths, 30 compressions to 2 breaths. And it's the same, that you do not stop until they regain consciousness and the heartbeat and can breathe on their own, or if EMS arrives and they can take control. So hopefully my speech on how to perform CPR has informed you on how to kind of take over if someone acquires cardiac arrest. And if not, then I am more than happy to go over it again and further educate you. Thank you.